Hello, and welcome to the Caltrans Bay Area 2020 Virtual iFair. Our theme this year is Together, Innovating Tomorrow. And as you know, under Caltrans Director Tokes Omushakin's leadership, innovation is one of his top 5 priorities for Caltrans, which makes events like this one more important than ever. And as you will soon see, innovation can be an incredible launching pad from which to achieve our priorities of safety, modality, partnership, and efficiencies. 24 videos have been produced by your coworkers along with the help from our very own audio and visual staff, highlighting our innovations here in the Bay Area. Every 2 years since 2012, Caltrans has hosted and showcased innovations by staff and programs in our iFair. Previously, the iFair was conducted over 2 days on the 6th floor atrium and on the streets surrounding the District 4 office building here in Oakland. This year, due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, we decided to innovate and present the iFair in a virtual platform. Our divisions and programs have created video presentations to share on various topics like interactive web pages with scenario modeling, improved reporting and budgeting tools, enhanced partnering with other agencies for safety and early project completion like we did with the Alamany deck replacement project, greening of our building through refuse separation, pilot studies of new technologies, bicycle transportation, and materials, increased safety solutions for our roadways and the traveling public. All these innovations were done in an effort to improve safety, be efficient with time and money, and to create solutions to new challenges our district and department have faced over the past 2 years. Enjoy the video presentations and the fact sheets provided on our iFair webpage. Keep innovating and stay safe.
My name is Philip Rodriguez, Caltrans District 4 Sustainability Manager. We would like to share with you a story about our Caltrans Bay Area team, how they embrace sustainability culture and commit themselves to preserve the environment and ecological system. This is a story about a successful implementation of a waste management program here at the Caltrans District 4 main office. But first, I would like to bring to your attention of findings from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, Facts About Waste. On average, the U.S. generates over 260 million tons of trash per year, which half of that trash is sent to landfills. On average, a person generates over 4.5 million tons of trash, mainly from disposal of food and plastics, which could end up at rivers and oceans, harming the environment. Caltrans District 4 launched the Waste Reduction and Recycle program at the main office in downtown Oakland, a program that implements an expanded waste management system, which preserves and enhances California resources. By recycling and reusing material, including composting, these are effective methods to best manage waste, in which our district office employees have incorporated into their daily activities. Managing waste and recycling practices help conserve resources for future generations and contributes to a cleaner environment, cleaner air, cleaner water. And it is also an excellent way to become more conscious of the environment and then take these lessons home and share them with our kids and family members. The implementation of this program is part of top 5 Caltrans priorities. Through innovation, our administration team were able to implement the first district office waste diversion program. And by partnering, they were able to work with an outside vendor to implement best waste management practices. The District 4 Waste Reduction and Recycle program complies with our department's Recycle Deputy Directive by applying 3 principles of reduce, reuse, and recycle. The success of the program is due to recycling and reusing at every opportunity and diverting material taken to landfill, thus increasing diversion rate. I am very proud of our Caltrans District 4 administration team in being able to implement the Waste Reduction and Recycle program. And now to talk in greater detail about the program, here's our Caltrans District 4 Facility Manager, Walter Garcia.
Welcome to Caltrans District 4 2020 Innovation Fair from the Division of Administration. My name is Walter Garcia, Facilities Manager of the District 4 Office Building in Oakland, a LEED Gold and Energy Certified building since 2018. An interesting fact is that we were able to obtain LEED Gold certification without a full waste diversion program. Caltrans and Facilities Management team continued its innovation and explored various ways to build a sustainable work environment and contribute to the well-being of our overall environment. Caltrans District 4 Facilities partnered with Biagini Waste Reduction Systems and the Department of General Services to develop and implement a 3-stream waste diversion program in 2019. The resulting program consisted of landfill and waste diverted through composting and a robust recycling program. Outreach events were held for employees and building tenants to attend in June 2019 to advertise and educate about the program and how to participate in waste reduction. Informational emails were distributed, as well as posters posted throughout the building to further advertise and to encourage participation in the program. Our No Merging 3-stream waste diversion campaign was immediately successful. Black bins with black bags were used for landfill, blue bins with clear bags for recycling, and green bins with green compostable bags for compost were used throughout the building. We continued a partnership with Biagini Waste Reduction Systems to conduct periodic audits to determine further opportunities for success. Prior to the program implementation, majority of the building waste was sent to landfill, complemented by mixed paper recycling. Our waste diversion program boosted our recycling efforts with the inclusion of paper, cardboard, metal, plastic, and glass. A major contributor and factor to the success of the program is the addition of compost. 100% of the waste diverted through compost was sent to landfill prior to the program. Signs were posted in each location with the 3-stream bins that included a reference sheet that assisted with determining which stream to use. Complementary signs were also placed on each bin for quick reference. The District 4 office building recycling has had a 39% increase since the start of the program. The 4.72 tons monthly recycle pre-program average has increased to a monthly average of 7.73 tons. An average of 44% of our building total waste is diverted into recycling. Compost has been the largest contributor to our waste diversion efforts. We are averaging 29% of the building waste diverted into compost, 29% of which would have gone to landfill pre-program. Since the implementation of the program, we're averaging 73% of total waste diverted from landfill. We're in line to meet our goal to reach 75% waste diversion by the end of 2020. The District 4 Waste Diversion Program has been a great success, but we need everyone's assistance to sustain this. We are near our 75% waste diversion goal by the end of 2020, and we can certainly achieve this goal or even surpass it with everyone's assistance and participation. Caltrans and District 4 Facilities continues its innovation and sustainability efforts to do our part to positively affect our environment and climate change. This is one part of a larger picture, but with all of our contributions, we can continue to develop a sustainable environment for everyone. Each county may have a different waste diversion program. Please check with your local waste management for details and information on how to extend this effort beyond our workplace. Thank you from the Division of Administration.
Hi, I'm Vicki Havel, Office Chief for Construction Functional Support. Our group supports field staff. One of the ways we do this is by projecting resource needs. Forecasting workload enables us to project long-term personnel needs, balance staffing between offices, and provide resource needs to project managers. Some time ago, our workload support group developed the BAS, Best Assessment Schedule software. The BAS pulls project information from various resources such as CAS and PRISM, And then this information was sent quarterly to field managers by way of spreadsheet for updating personnel need for every project on a monthly basis. That's a lot of data. Obtaining this amount of information in this manner proved to be cumbersome. So recently the BAS was upgraded to the eBAS, an online resource data entry system, and this is our innovation that we are sharing with you today. Let me introduce Joel North, who is going to walk you through the basics of how the eBAS works. Thank you, Joel, and the entire workload support group for your innovative work.
Welcome to the eBAS District 4 Construction Resource Management System. We begin by logging into the eBAS. And from here, we navigate to the home screen. On the home screen, we see a general description of the eBAS, followed by instructions and guidelines for using the eBAS. From the blue navigation menu on the left of the screen, we can view a roll-up of all project information, which is listed by Principal Engineer. We can view all project information, which enables us to view resourcing across all projects. We can search for and update and add new project information and resources. To note, incomplete data can be added, including entire projects, which is necessary for projects that are not captured in Prism and CAS. Seniors and SUPs have the ability to get in and review and update resources for their projects. Using the Add New Support from Project List feature, the electrical and maintenance offices can review ongoing and upcoming project resource information. To note, reports can be pulled at any time but are typically pulled quarterly. In preparation for seniors to add resources, the D4 Workload Support Group will enter general project information. For example, we will enter information for Project 1Q799. We begin by entering general project information such as EFIS ID. The senior, we will say is Ta Sang, and Office Chief Andrew Baskerville, and the award date, and other dates to the extent that we know them. And we observe that resource information is not filled out here because it is a new project. We hit save. We see that the resource information that we entered is now listed on the eBAS screen. It is now the charge of Ta Singh to go and enter resource information. Ta now logs into the eBAS. He observes a workload by month report. As we can see, Ta's name appears under the senior column. Ta has approximately 50 projects he will need to make updates for. Among the projects Ta will update is the project we recently added, 1Q799. We click on the update link for this project. We click on update, and Ta reviews the project information listed here, entered by the D4 Office of Workload Support. He now goes and enters resource information for the duration of the project from January of 21 through February of 22. When he is finished, he hits save and is brought to a screen where he can see the information he entered is indeed tabulated. Ta may also log back into the workload by month report to verify that the resources that he added for 1Q799 are truly there. He identifies the project and moves to the right to see if the resources are there, and indeed they are, from January 21 all the way through February of 2022. The BAS Workload by Month spreadsheet is available on the D4 Construction website, which we have navigated to here. As we can see, it is available in both PDF and Excel formats. We will look at the June 2020 BAS report. We see our report is titled BAS Workload by Month, June 2020. The body of the report contains resource needs by month for the duration of the report, which extends from June 2020 all the way through March of 2023. The far most right column, Count of Jobs, indicates the number of current and upcoming jobs. For instance, 284 jobs are indicated for Principal Engineer Bill Borman. Bill, along with the other Principal Engineers, Bill Casey, and Bonnie Naga are shown in light colored yellow rows. Their office chiefs and seniors are shown underneath them. For instance, under Bill Borman, we see Andrew Baskerville, Maurice O'Hege, and Kumar Santil. Under Maurice, for example, we see Surjit Bains as seniors, George Chung, Nilesh Pandya, and Maxime Dubili. The far left columns of the report show current resource information. We have construction persons on board, loan to construction, on leave, or consultants. And for instance, for Bill Casey, we see we have 82 persons on board along with 8 consultants, making for a total of 90. We may wish to compare this to resource needs out in the future. For example, if we look at the months of January through March of 2021, we see the needs here are 69, 65, and 68, which are considerably less than the current 90 employees. On the other hand, if we look farther out and we look into the months of, say, July, August, September, October 2022, we see that resource needs are anywhere from 126 to 128, which are considerably higher than the 90 employees currently on board. Moving down the report, we see that the resource information is tabulated in the row at the bottom, D4Con Field Workload Support Rollup. This includes a tabulation of all resource needs throughout the duration of the EBAS. We see below that, we also have tabulated fiscal year average and seasonal average. Similarly, services and support information are tabulated as well in the table section below, and they are subtotaled as we can see here too. To point out, the pink in the report refers to the winter months of November through March. We see all the resource information, which includes both field work and services and support, rolled up into D4Con all workload roll-up. A fiscal year average and seasonal average is included as well. On the following page, we have resource information shown by project. Looking to the right, we see resource information input by seniors for the duration of the EBAS from June 20 through March of 2023. In summary, the EBAS is an online program for entering workload resource information. Its purpose is to assist field managers and staff in identifying and planning for resource needs. Ultimately, resources are allocated to meet project resource needs we identify in the EBAS. Reviewing the steps in the EBAS. The D4 Workload Support Group enters new or updates existing project information. D4 seniors or their designated staff enter new or update existing resource info. D4 principals and SUPs review and approve the resource info entered. The EBAS report is then generated. The D4 Workload Support Group enters the EBAS resource info into Prism in the September through October timeframe. Resources are now allocated to projects based on the needs identified and updated in the EBAS. Please contact the D4 Office of Workload Support if there are any questions. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tom Robinson, Senior Construction Safety Coordinator for District 4. When there's an accident or incident in the field, the Major Construction Incident Notification tool helps provide a course of action for the field to follow. The accidents are individual, distinctive, and stressful by nature. This tool provides simple questions and answers to help improve communication and efficiency. Joel North has done a wonderful job on the following video to present the tool. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the D4 Online Guidance Tool for Major Incident Reporting. We begin by navigating to the tool on the D4 Construction website. We select the safety icon and we navigate under the heading During Job to Major Incident Report Required. To note, when a major incident or accident occurs, there is oftentimes confusion. Everyone on the site is very busy. Oftentimes the breadth of the incident is difficult to immediately make an assessment of. People can be fatigued. and almost no two accidents are the same. For these reasons, D4 Construction came up with a simple and efficient online process for determining if when an accident or incident occurs, what kind of major incident reporting is required. The Major Incident Reporting tool has three major sections: immediate notification, completing CEM 0603 major incident notification, and finally a reference section. The questions in the first two sections deal with injury, damage, hazardous waste, and traffic control. Say, for example, we are an inspector on a job site and we know that an accident or incident has occurred. We begin at the top of the form and fill out the sections under immediate notification. We look at each of the questions and we answer yes or no. We find that, say, for the third question, question C, that somebody on the site did need to be brought to the hospital by ambulance. So we would answer yes. We would answer the final question, say no for regarding delays 30 minutes or greater. We would click on immediate action required. And the program would then tell us this is a major incident. Immediate phone notification is required. And then activities are assigned as a result to the resident engineer, the D4 safety coordinator, and on-site construction staff, and construction supervisors and managers. Finally, guidance is also given regarding real-time reporting actions. Let's look at the responsibilities of the resident engineer. The resident engineer must provide the information contained in the attached checklist, District 4 Construction Accident or Incident Reporting Checklist, to the D4 Safety Coordinator for the formal Major Construction Incident Notification MCIN reporting. Let's take a look at the checklist. Here we see the resident engineer's reporting checklist. The first question, has a person been injured? If so, we follow steps 1 through 3, which involves calling 911, calling the radio room, and completing the section below. If a person has not been injured, we follow steps 2 and 3, which involve calling the radio room and completing the section below. Now let's look at the role of the District 4 Construction Safety Coordinator. The D4 Safety Coordinator will fill out Form CEM 0603, Major Construction Incident Notification, and provide it to headquarters. Let's take a look at the CEM 0603 Major Incident Reporting Form. Now we look at the form CEM 0603 Major Construction Incident Notification. As we can see, there are several sections on the form. A report in which general project information is provided, incident site information, and finally, a description of the incident. Navigating below, we see the original 11 questions that we needed to address in order to determine whether or not a major incident report needed to be filed. When the form is complete, the D4 Safety Coordinator supplies it to headquarters. Now looking at the responsibilities of on-site construction staff. 1. They're to call 911 to obtain emergency services if needed. To contact your district communications center, the radio room. To coordinate emergency services with the CHP, contractors, etc. Contact the supervisor manager. Make immediate phone notification if required. And for non-operational delays such as paving, if a late traffic opening is greater than 15 minutes, supervisory notification is required. Regarding the role of construction supervisors and managers, there are 5 things. Review the situation with on-site staff and provide guidance on safety, connective measures, traffic mitigation, and further reporting. Provide initial email notifications to inform management of the situation. Provide a separate email notification and updates as necessary. Provide a lane closeout report memorandum accordingly. And we will jump back up to number 2 and look at the supplemental reporting contact information. Here we see the title of management to be contacted, the name, the email, and the cell phone contact. Returning back to our screen, which provides direction to field staff involved with the incident or accident. Direction regarding real-time reporting is provided. And mentioning, of course, that reporting should be performed as close to real-time as possible, and that field staff should take photographs and provide documentation as needed. Finally, in the reference section of the Major Incident Reporting tool, we see a link to the Blue Memo, which provides direction to construction staff on actions to be taken when an incident or accident occurs. We see background information on the TMC and the DCC, along with roles and responsibilities of D4 management and HQ when a major incident is reported. And finally, we see a listing of CEM 0603 major incident instructions. These are a listing of the 11 questions related to determining whether or not to do a CEM 0603 major incident report if an incident or accident occurs. Let us click on the link to the blue memo, which the major incident reporting tool provides for us, and quickly review that. The blue memo provides direction and guidance to D4 construction staff when accidents or incidents occur. The major incident reporting tool has essentially taken the direction and guidance provided to field staff in the blue memo and put it into a simple-to-use online form. Looking through the blue memo, we see here starting off, we have discussion of the roles and responsibilities of the TMC and the DCC and D4 management and HQ management, which we've already looked at. Accidents or incidents to report, discussion on them, the types, reporting procedures, supplemental real-time reporting, phone call immediate notification, and roles and responsibilities for on-site construction staff and construction supervisors and managers. In summary, the online guidance tool for major incident reporting is a simple-to-use online tool providing guidance to Caltrans D04 field staff when a major incident or accident occurs. It is based on direction provided by the blue memo for accident and incident reporting. The steps involved. The RE Construction Safety Coordinator and field staff access the tool. It is available on the D4 website. They complete answers to questions presented in the tool. These questions cover injury, damage, hazardous waste, and traffic delays. They receive direction and guidance based on their answers. They then carry out instructions the tool provides. These instructions include notification, completing the 0603 form, and site monitoring. The online guidance tool for major incident reporting takes the guesswork out of reporting and procedures. When a major incident or accident occurs, it provides a simple, efficient way for field staff to determine what their responsibilities are when a major incident or accident happens. If there are any questions, please contact the D4 Office of Workload Support.
Hi, I am Lenka Kulikaro, Deputy District Director for Design, and I'm excited to share with you innovative idea that meets all 5 Director Omishakin priorities. Sonoma Route 1 repair guidelines were developed through a shared vision with our local partners. Coastal Commission, Sonoma County Parks, Sonoma County, and Bicycle Coalition were key external partners. These guidelines would not happen without a strong dedication from our internal team in Caltrans, namely Jean Gorham, Stefan Galvez, Manny Kalua, Rob Effinger, and Arnika McCarthy. Now I'd like to introduce Jean Gorham, who will go over in more details.
Thanks, Lenka. State Route 1 in Sonoma County is 56 miles of winding coast-hugging highway. The scenic qualities of the coast are protected by the California Coastal Commission, Sonoma County's local coastal program, and State Parks land management policies. Sonoma 1 is also eligible for scenic highway status. All of our partners have policies that protect the scenic qualities of the coast. In fact, if we could do nothing at all out there, we'd make the most people happy. Unfortunately, nature makes its own renovations along the coast. Every year, winter storms and occasional fires cause damage that require repair. When we make decisions about repairs along the coast, our decisions should not diminish the visual environment for the roadway user. The slow, winding, scenic coastal drive is part of California's uniqueness. It's part of what makes California special, and we want to preserve that for future generations. Typically, when we discuss visual considerations in design at Caltrans, we're thinking about color, texture, and planting. When we're working along the coast, visual considerations expand into the design of the roadway. Here's Manny Kaluuya, Principal Engineer, to discuss how the guidelines are reflected in design decisions.
Thank you, Jean. I'm Manny Kaluuya, Design Division Chief of Design East. And as mentioned earlier, we as engineers have design flexibility. The Sonoma 1 repair guidelines is here to support and to inform design decisions for repair work on the coast. So most of the repair work on the coast involve construction of a structure such as retaining walls. And what is typically done is we look at other features of the roadway and we bring it up to standard. But our partners have asked us to rethink the standardize everything process and to look for opportunities to change less. So with this approach, the engineer may decide to keep the narrow lane widths, which are typically 11 feet wide, the narrow shoulder widths, which are typically 4 feet wide to allow access for bicyclists, and also to keep the general alignment of the roadway. The engineer may also decide to cover the repair work, and this is through consultation with geotechnical engineering and the Office of Landscape Architecture. The engineer may also decide to install traffic devices with less visual impact, and these are typically the delineators that are attached to the posts of MGS. And lastly, the engineer may decide to eliminate the cable railing typically found on top of retaining walls, and this is through consultation with our field maintenance staff. To better illustrate some of the design features of the Sonoma 1 repair guidelines, I'm going to be showing you examples at 3 locations. So the first 2 are going to be on Marin 1 because this is where the repair guidelines was first implemented. The third and last will be on Sonoma 1. And I will be showing you 2 pictures. The first is going to be one during construction. The second is going to be one immediately after construction. And I've also added a video clip of what it looks like today. So let's move on to those locations. So the first location is on Marin 1 at post mile 8.05. Here is a picture during construction of the retaining wall and embankment confinement system, typically referred to as ECS. Next is a picture of the completed work covering the repair. Today, the reconstructed slopes have been overgrown with vegetation and has blended well with the surrounding area. Here's another view of the same site, which is at the entrance of Slide Ranch, to highlight just how well the ECS can work at storm damage repair sites. So the second location is on Marin 1 at post mile 10.95. The first picture shows a closer caption of the ECS and how it is integrated with the retaining wall. Next is a follow-up picture after construction showing the finished steepness of the ECS. A recent visit to this location showed that most of the vegetation has grown. Also at this location, the general alignment of the roadway was preserved, the 4-foot shoulders were provided, smaller reflectors, typically on concrete barriers, were installed, and lastly, high visibility wet night 6-inch wide striping was incorporated to help enhance the area for nighttime driving. So the last location is on Sonoma 1 at post mile 24.2. At this site, the existing right-of-way is very close to the work area, so the use of the ECS and highway planting was valuable in helping preserve the scenic value of the area. With the ECS covering the full height of the retaining wall and consultation with field maintenance staff, the cable railing was not installed. So to circle back to the intent of the repair guidelines, the design features offer strategies in helping preserve the scenic driving experience and scenic qualities of the coast. In closing, the guidelines uses principles of design flexibility to promote sustainability and to build strong partnerships with environmental permitting agencies. However, the repair guidelines is not complete in the district. With leadership from Lenka Kulikaro, the core team is motivated and looks forward to completing the third and last document, the San Mateo 1 Repair Guidelines. Thank you.
Greetings, my name is Mehdi Parvini. I am the Chief of the Engineering Services or Materials Office. The subject of my presentation is mechanistic empirical pavement design. I will start with a general background on pavement engineering in order to explain the need for a new pavement design methodology. I will briefly explain the current empirical method and then move to the main subject of mechanistic empirical approach. At the end, I will discuss the implementation of this method in the district. Pavement engineering has changed significantly in the last century. Trucks are heavier, traffic volumes are more, and the public expectations are higher. There are also new roles for highway pavements. They are supposed to be the solution to stormwater management, reduce global warming, and produce renewable energy. Pavement are also used at landfills for chrome rubber and plastic and are considered as sustainability indicators when it comes to recycling. The method of building pavements has also evolved in the recent years. Pavements could be fabricated in a plant and installed during a night shift. They could be fully reinforced or be placed in two lifts. There are also several new pavement types and materials recently introduced to the highway agencies. All the above changes have a profound impact on pavement engineering and justify the need for continuous improvement of the pavement design process. However, pavement design has not adapted quickly with these new requirements and technology changes, and the existing empirical methods do not address any of the above developments. So, what is an empirical pavement design? It is a design based on testing a number of pavement sections and recording their performances. Our existing empirical design method is based on ASHO road test. By the way, ASHO was renamed AASHTO in 1973. The ASHO road test, a $27 million back in 1960 investment and the largest road experiment of its time, was done by the American Association of State Highway Officials as a study of the performance of pavement structures. Loaded trucks were running on the test loops 24/7 for almost 3 years. The observed pavement damage of each test section was correlated to the pavement layer configuration and loading frequency. The results from the ASHO road test were used to develop a pavement design guide, first issued in 1961 with major updates issued in 1972 and 1993. The 1993 version is still in widespread use in the United States. As you can imagine, none of the pavement enhancements discussed earlier were conceived back in the late 1950s. This explains the shortcoming of this empirical approach. Empirical design is based on observed pavement performance. Inherent in any experimental testing, the number, configurations, and conditions of the testing are limited. Empirical pavement design is not capable of properly addressing current heavy loads and high traffic, new materials or construction methods, different climates and soil types, and different pavement damages. Empirical methods are also often conservative. They are not cost-effective, have a short design life, about 20 years, do not result in high-performing pavements, and do not consider variability in the design. On the other hand, the mechanistic empirical approach takes into account all factors affecting the behavior and performance of a pavement structure. Some of these factors are traffic, including wheel load, wheel configuration, truck classification, frequency and speed; climate, including temperature, rain, groundwater, freeze-thaw; soil, including type, strength, expansion; materials, including behavior, strength, durability; failure mechanism, acceptable damage; and reliability, which is based on probabilistic approach. ME method mechanistically calculates pavement response including stress-strain deformation. However, there is still an empirical element to relate the response to the pavement damage. That is why the method is called mechanistic empirical. While the empirical method is the main pavement design in the current version of Highway Design Manual, the department has theoretically adopted the mechanistic empirical approach back in 2005. However, it has not been practically used for day-to-day district projects. It is anticipated that the upcoming version of Highway Design Manual eliminates the empirical method and switch to mechanistic empirical. The use of the mechanistic empirical method would result in cost-effective and high-performing pavements. It also allows the design of new pavement types and materials. A glance at mechanistic empirical development history shows that the concept started back in the 1980s. An NCHRP study, National Cooperative Highway Research Program 1-37A, was completed in early 2000. AASHTO adopted the approach in 2007 and made the research into a practical tool, which later was called AASHTOWare Pavement ME Design. At the same time, California started its own study in early 2000, and an ME version called CalME was developed by UCPRC, University of California Pavement Research Center. As mentioned before, Caltrans adopted the ME method in 2005. With all the benefits of the mechanistic empirical design, one should consider that there is no free lunch. Using mechanistic empirical needs more reliable and comprehensive data, including traffic, climate, soil, materials, drainage, needs better field investigation, needs more stringent construction specification and better inspection, needs more support resource like design time, and needs better coordination of Caltrans units, such as traffic, operation, maintenance, construction, etc. As you can see in this figure, while an empirical method only requires a couple of input data, mechanistic empirical analysis needs a large amount of information to fully capture the pavement behavior. ME approach is still a work in progress. There are lots of gaps and unanswered questions. Although headquarters is supportive of this initiative, they are not quite knowledgeable on this subject. This required a huge effort on the district side to come up with appropriate guidelines, flowcharts, and internal policies to implement this method. An example of the ME application is the Marine Sonoma Narrows Corridor project. MSN was one of the first projects that were analyzed with mechanistic empirical. There was a big challenge to address the budget overrun during the construction phase. Mechanistic empirical approach was recommended to try to address the issue. Without going into the details, the next couple of slides provide a general overview of the steps involved in a mechanistic empirical analysis. First, different pavement structure alternatives were considered. Each alternative was analyzed using the mechanistic empirical tool. Alternatives were evaluated and compared for different configurations and material types. And here is the result. The table shows a quick comparison between the pavement structures designed based on empirical and mechanistic empirical methods. The result of using the mechanistic empirical method was a saving of about $3 million for this project and allowed the construction to proceed per schedule. These are some other examples of the mechanistic empirical implementation in the district projects. In each case, the result has been either a longer lasting pavement or a more efficient design. The Materials Office is committed to implementing this innovative design for all the district projects. Thank you for your attention. Please contact me if you have any comments or questions on this subject. Have a good day.
Hello, I'm Manny Kaluuya, Design Division Chief of Design East, and I'm here to present to you an innovative approach to delivering the I-580 Sir Francis Drake Bikeway. The construction of the bikeway is a result of strong partnerships with locals and coordination with advocates. This project converts the existing one-way Class 2 buffered bike lane on the I-580 westbound Sir Francis Drake off-ramp to a new two-way Class 4 separated bikeway by installing a movable barrier on the existing shoulder and adjusting the roadway lane and shoulder widths. I will be going over some background information, the conditions prior to implementation of the new bikeway, and a short video traveling through the bikeway and its improvements. Let's start with the Richmond-San Rafael Bridge that carries Interstate 580 between Richmond and Marin County, which connects communities in those regions. In the westbound direction of the bridge, the existing shoulder was converted to a two-way bike and pedestrian path on November 18, 2019 by installing a movable barrier. West of the bridge in the city of San Rafael, the bike path continues on Francisco Boulevard. Just past Grange Avenue, there is an opening in the access fencing that allows bicyclists to connect onto the I-580 westbound Sir Francis Drake off-ramp structure. Bicyclists would continue up the ramp on the buffered one-way Class 2 bike path and approach Anderson Drive. Bicyclists would take a right turn on this local road towards downtown San Rafael or continue onto Sir Francis Drake Boulevard towards Larkspur. However, coming from downtown San Rafael at the unsignalized intersection of Anderson Drive and Sir Francis Drake Boulevard, some bicyclists would travel counterflow on the one-way Class 2 bike lane and at times cross Sir Francis Drake Boulevard due to the lack of direct connectivity. Well, this new bikeway provides that connectivity, so let's take a ride on the newly constructed facility. Bicyclists would enter through the same opening in the access control fencing along Francisco Boulevard. The new two-way Class 4 separated bikeway is 8 feet in width that is separated from the shoulder with a movable barrier, which is a minimum of 42 inches in height. Here's another look of the bike path on the off-ramp structure. As you get closer to Anderson Drive, bicyclists will still have a choice to make a right turn and enter the existing shoulder of the local street towards downtown San Rafael. As mentioned earlier, bicyclists also have the choice to continue onto Sir Francis Drake Boulevard towards Larkspur. Lastly, the new feature of this bikeway allows bicyclists on Anderson Drive coming from downtown San Rafael to make a left turn at the intersection and not across Sir Francis Drake Boulevard. This makes an easier, more comfortable connection by use of this new two-way Class 4 separated bikeway. As bicyclists make their way down the facility, they are led to the existing shoulder of Francisco Boulevard that connects them to the Richmond-San Rafael Bridge. In closing, by utilizing the existing shoulder of the I-580 westbound Sir Francis Drake Boulevard off-ramp, installation of a movable barrier, and strong partnerships with locals and stakeholders, this new two-way bike facility improves regional bicycle access connecting Richmond and Marin County, and will be part of a 5-year pilot study that coincides with a similar facility on the Richmond-San Rafael Bridge. Thank you.
Improving our highway system is an undertaking that requires vision and visioning. The Office of Landscape Architecture has created a dynamic and interactive experience that helps community members, transportation partners, and regulatory agencies visualize not only the pressing need for system improvements, but also the solution. In an interactive, web-based interface, stakeholders can explore proposed projects at their own pace. Users can interact with both existing conditions and proposed conditions. They can turn on simulations illustrating such impacts as sea level rise and see the inundation of the existing roadway, as well as the inundation effects on the proposed improvements. For larger projects, users can move up and down the corridor to see the effects throughout the project limits. Stakeholders can also fly through design alternatives for proposed projects with video simulations that clearly illustrate design proposals.
A rural, coastal landscape of hills, ocean, scattered houses and ranch buildings, and a sandy beach where Scotty Creek enters the Pacific Ocean are the setting at the Gleason Beach Realignment Project site. A bridge spans the floodplain of Scotty Creek above the 1% flood elevation and realigns the highway east of coastal erosion projected to occur by the year 2100. Views from public areas to the ocean are largely unchanged. However, the bridge changes views to the hills. Visual contrast with the rural setting is reduced by coloring the bridge to blend with muted, earthy tones of the beach, using see-through bridge rails, and by painting metal rails to harmonize with coastal colors. Help select paint color for rails by reviewing options on the project website and submitting your comments. Thank you.
Users can dig deeper into a project context and view information from partnering agencies. Here we can see the information from BCDC explaining the sea level rise that will affect the Bay Area. Project information can also be displayed from Caltrans internal offices showing site-specific impacts. This information from our environmental office shows existing habitat and topography constraints for a project on State Route 1. In a time of social distancing, this virtual experience allows us to make our outreach, communication, and engagement more effective than ever. Stakeholders can zoom into specific areas of interest, click links to see various project alternatives, and view video simulations from a driver's perspective or from the air. By integrating GIS mapping, state-of-the-art rendering tools, and a web-based platform, the Office of Landscape Architecture has created an experience with a simple interface that is both flexible and scalable for various project types and user groups.
Thank you for joining us today in the Environmental Division's entry for the iFair 2020. Do you have a project with complicated environmental design and controversy? Do you have difficulties with your stakeholders? Well, this is the situation we have on State Route 37 in the North Bay Area counties. Our solution to this problem is the preparation of a Planning and Environmental Linkage Study, or PEL. The PEL that we're going to be preparing for this corridor will be the first of its kind in the California state highway system. Because Pell studies offer a flexible, innovative approach to transportation planning with a federal nexus that can positively affect the future of Caltrans projects, the focus of this presentation is the Pell study we are going to be conducting for State Route 37. SR 37 is a vital 21-mile link in the region's economy, connecting 4 North Bay Area counties. Adding to the complexity of addressing transportation needs within the corridor, the existing alignment of SR 37 traverses numerous jurisdictions and lies within highly complex and sensitive tidal baylands that are undergoing their own restoration efforts. These considerations will be factored into the Pell's alternatives and resource impact analysis. With low elevations and proximity to the bay, State Route 37 is highly vulnerable to near-term flooding, as demonstrated by recent flooding and highway closures in 2017 and 2019. With anticipated sea level rise, the frequency of flooding is expected to increase, with most of the existing Route 37 likely to become permanently inundated by the year 2050, thus cutting off a major regional transportation route. Caltrans, along with MTC and the 4 North Bay Area transportation agencies, has been proceeding with the development of immediate, interim, and long-term improvements. During this process, Caltrans has received requests from several regulatory agencies and stakeholders on the need for a broader cumulative and corridor assessment of sea level rise, ecological restoration, multimodal needs, access to baylands, and equity issues. The SR 37 Pell study will be Caltrans' answer to a corridor assessment addressing these concerns. But before we go too far, let's look at what a Pell study and its associated process is intended to accomplish. The Pell process is a voluntary, flexible, collaborative planning process. It examines broad transportation, environmental, community, and economic goals early in the planning process. Pell process starts early. It begins before environmental processes focused on specific projects take place. It establishes buy-in from agencies and stakeholders on a corridor vision, purpose and need, range of alternatives, and consideration of key environmental issues. Pell gathers preliminary data and considers conceptual level of design, traffic analysis, and evaluation of environmental impacts. Pell studies will allow agencies to look at the big picture by examining a broad area or corridor. Pell establishes long-term transportation visions and set the stage for focused future projects. Stakeholder involvement is critical to success of Pell studies. The process encourages working relationships and early agency involvement, which enables more effective decision-making. Pells also solicit input and, if possible, consensus of decisions from public, tribes, elected officials, agencies, and other stakeholders. So why do a Pell? What are the benefits of a Pell study? Some of the key benefits of a Pell are realized from examining environmental and community values early in the transportation project planning and involving agencies and others as partners in identifying both concerns as well as opportunities for collaboration. Another benefit of a Pell study is improved project delivery timeframes by minimizing potential duplication of planning and other environmental compliance processes, thus creating one cohesive flow of information. Improved interagency relationships will also help resolve differences on key issues, moving from planning through design and ultimately project implementation. And perhaps most importantly, one of the direct outcomes of a Pell study is that enhanced and early coordination with resource agencies and the public yields better transportation programs and projects that serve communities' transportation needs more effectively. The Pell study and its many supporting studies provide agencies with tools to design better projects while avoiding and minimizing impacts on communities and natural resources. So one question you may have is, under what circumstances would we want to complete a Pell study? Well, since Pell studies are new to California, let's consider some of the common circumstances where Pell studies may benefit you. When a project has fiscal constraints and sequencing is less than certain, for extensive corridors where more than one project may be needed and where logical termini are not clear, in complex projects where the Pell can address broad corridor decisions, for highly controversial projects where early consensus can help move the project along, and where later NEPA phases will benefit from acceleration, such as with the new One Federal Decision constrained timelines, or where tier documents may affect overall schedule. So now you may be wondering, why are we doing a Pell study for Route 37? Our SR 37 study will allow for early agency and stakeholder input in the identification of transportation needs, environmental issues, and community expectations, as well as involvement in the development of a broad corridor strategies to address these issues. Our Pell study will address conceptual design and broad environmental impacts to allow regulatory agencies and stakeholders to sign off on decisions such as corridor vision, purpose and need, corridor assessment of existing and future issues and needs, alternatives and strategies for meeting transportation needs, and implementation plan. Our Pell will thereby address concerns already voiced by agencies in the corridor and decrease the risk of challenges in subsequent NEPA, CEQA environmental impact analysis and permitting processes of future projects. So, who are the typical participants of a Pell study? Pell studies provide a comprehensive forum and approach to public engagement involving resource and regulatory agencies, tribes, local stakeholders, and the public on an ongoing basis and through key milestone meetings as the Pell steps are advanced. So what do we hope to accomplish through a Pell study for Route 37? The study will most likely include integrating transportation, ecosystem, and sea level rise adaptation into one design, increasing corridor resiliency to storm surges and sea level rise, improving mobility across all modes and maintaining public access, addressing roadway rehabilitation requirements, and restoration opportunities. So, in summary, the successful implementation of the first California State Highway System Pell process will provide a tool for Caltrans and external agencies to deliberate and ultimately reach consensus on key decisions, which will aid Caltrans and its partners in developing and programming long-term projects. Based on the completed SR 37 corridor Pell study, Caltrans and its partners can expect to advance to construction in less time and reduce risk in cost and schedule for future projects. The Pell study will bring this body of knowledge into a cohesive and consistent shared plan, including consideration of the transportation needs, climate adaptation through design for sea level rise and extreme weather events, and protection and restoration of valuable ecosystem in the SR 37 area. I would like to thank you for your time today. If you'd like some information regarding the SR 37 Pell study, you may contact me directly. If you have questions regarding the Pell studies in general, please contact Tammy Massingale in headquarters. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to the iFair 2020. My name is Hardit Takar. I'm the Water Quality Program Manager in the district, and I work in the Office of Water Quality within the Division of Environmental Planning and Engineering. I will be presenting the innovations that we're implementing in the district that relate to developing stormwater treatment solutions both on and off the state highway system. Our office is the focal point to make sure that all stormwater discharges from our activities are in compliance with the statewide and national pollutant discharge elimination system permit. We have staff who are well-rounded and experienced in areas of project development that include planning, design, and construction. We maintain organizational excellence by developing a culture that promotes integrity, commitment, teamwork, and innovation in all we do. Caltrans statewide NPDES permits include stormwater treatment requirements for the following projects and activities that result in new impervious and replaced impervious surfaces over 1 acre of highway facility and new impervious surface over 10,000 square feet for a non-highway facility. It also includes areas that discharge to water bodies impaired by one or more pollutants for which a total maximum daily load, a TMDL, has been developed. Also includes coastal areas that have been identified as areas of special biological significance and areas within significant trash generation areas. So all these areas require stormwater treatment. Caltrans integrates best management practices into its daily operations, including project development, construction, and maintenance. BMP implementation strategy for on-system solutions uses site design principles and conventional treatment BMPs. On-system solutions are solutions that are implemented on the highway system right away and require that the treatment BMPs are designed to capture the water quality volume and the water quality flows. These are associated with more frequent storm events as shown in the hydrograph. The rising limb of the hydrograph represents what we call the water quality volume or an equivalent water quality flow. The district uses site-specific hydrologic analysis and continuous simulation modeling techniques to optimize the design of the treatment BMP so we can fit them within the available space. On-system solutions involve site design principles, and these principles incorporate sustainability into the design process to maximize the infiltration of water quality volume and water quality flows. Involves conserving natural areas, minimizing disturbances to natural drainages, and taking into consideration the pervious areas, soil conditions, slope, and climate-appropriate landscaping that minimizes irrigation and runoff. On-system solutions also require consideration of pervious pavement where feasible to promote infiltration through the pavement and underlying soils in a manner similar to the infiltration devices. These are considered essentially in landscape areas, GORE areas, parking lots, park and ride areas, maintenance access roads, and maintenance vehicle pullouts. Also, open graded friction course needs to be considered as part of the site design principles. OGFC has been used as an effective paving material for the reduction of noise and to reduce the spray from rainfall on the highway surface for better visibility during rain events. It is designed to have a large number of void spaces in the compacted mix, and it's effective in removing pollutants. Both pervious pavement and OGFC are considered self-treating areas and are exempt from stormwater treatment requirements. On-system solutions require consideration of conventional treatment technologies, which are low-impact development approach is used to employ a variety of natural and engineered BMPs to facilitate infiltration of runoff into the ground. Treatment BMPs include infiltration devices, detention devices, biofiltration, bioretention systems, and other devices that are approved for installation on the state highway system. As we consider technical feasibility of these devices in the state highway system, Caltrans must be able to implement these BMPs within the context of the state highway system, taking safety into consideration. Proper consideration is given to clear recovery zones, setbacks from structures, and maintenance access roads and ramps. Any devices that require extraordinary plumbing to collect and treat runoff may be considered infeasible. Also, treatment BMPs are not sited in environmentally sensitive areas that are regulated under the California and Federal Endangered Species Act, the Clean Water Act, and the California Porter-Cologne Water Quality Control Act. The challenges with the on-system retrofits is that the state highway system is a linear infrastructure with a narrow right-of-way limiting the feasibility of on-system solutions. This increases the potential for stormwater treatment deficits and non-compliance with the NPDES permit. To address the challenges, District will continue to optimize the design of on-system solutions using site-specific hydrologic studies and continuous simulation techniques to fit the treatment BMPs within the limited right-of-way. We will also engage with local partners and stakeholders to develop watershed-based solutions off the state highway system to meet our compliance needs. The opportunities that we will explore will include sustainable green infrastructure projects. Caltrans will financially contribute to the project costs, and the local partners take on the maintenance costs. To date, the district has developed over 20 local partnerships beginning in the year 2007 to fund construction of green infrastructure projects that treat over 1,700 acres of state highway system right-of-way, providing a clear path to cost-effective compliance. This is an example of an off-system watershed-based solution that District 4 entered into partnership with City of Dublin. The I-680 Express Lanes project had a 17 acres of stormwater treatment deficit. We partnered with the city to implement 2 hydrodynamic separators and 1 biofiltration swale to treat 60 acres of impervious surfaces. The agreement required Caltrans to reimburse the city for all project costs, including 10 years of maintenance. This is another example of an off-site watershed-based solution that was implemented in partnerships with City of Santa Rosa, County of Sonoma, and Sonoma County Fairgrounds to address about 17 acres of stormwater treatment deficits on the Sonoma 101 corridor project that ran through Santa Rosa. Another example of an off-system watershed-based solution, we partnered with multiple cities along San Pablo Avenue to implement the San Pablo Avenue Green Spine project that treated 8 acres of impervious surfaces. This was to offset the 12-acre deficit on the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge project. The last example of an off-system watershed-based solution involved a partnership with City of Richmond to treat 30 acres of Caltrans right-of-way using a continuous deflective separation unit that complied with the NPDES permit requirements for trash reduction. For innovation, the district will continue to optimize the design of on-system solutions using site-specific hydrologic studies and continuous modeling techniques to fit the treatment BMPs within the limited right-of-way, and also partner with local municipalities and other stakeholders to develop cost-effective watershed-based solutions. This concludes the Stormwater Management on-system solutions and off-system partnerships portion of the iFair 2020. Thank you for watching.
Here at Caltrans Bay Area, we are committed to keeping you informed when we begin a construction or maintenance project. We know these projects will have a major impact to the traveling public, our community, and local businesses. So how does Caltrans Bay Area reach out to the thousands of people? Our Caltrans team partners up with transportation agencies and Bay Area cities and counties on getting the word out by producing traffic advisories, news releases, public notifications, project flyers, and creating a website for project updates. Caltrans Bay Area is also committed at reaching out to other Californians who speak English as a second language. Title VI requires us as a public agency to ensure that we notify the public in languages they can understand. Our Caltrans Equal Employment Opportunity Office has identified 5 major languages other than English spoken around the Bay Area. Our team answered the challenge on reaching out to our second language audience by producing short project information videos and made them available on our website. For example, in Solano County, our team is gearing up to start an Interstate 80 Six Bridges project in the city of Vallejo. This prompted us to think outside the box and create outreach videos in several languages.
Hola, mi nombre es Fernando dos Santos, aquí en Caltrans Bay Area. Queremos agradecerle de antemano su paciencia y comprensión mientras nos preparamos para comenzar el proyecto Interstate 80 Six Bridges en Vallejo.
Bringing our own multilingual workforce from different departments to help produce this project video in English, Tagalog, and Spanish, the 3 most common languages spoken in Vallejo.
Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Kami po dito sa Caltrans Bay Area ay lubos na nagpapasalamat sa inyong pag-unawa sa aming paghahanda sa darating na construction ng Caltrans Interstate 80 Six Bridges Project dito sa Vallejo.
The video shows animation of the work to be done, detour maps to help the public navigate around the project, and the local impacts that people and businesses may experience living near the project site. This is the first time in recent memory that Caltrans Bay Area has produced videos in other languages to notify the public of a construction project. These videos are located on the Caltrans Bay Area project website. You can go to i80sixbridgesvallejo.com. We ask that you please take a look at the in-language videos that our team produce. Moving forward, Caltrans Bay Area will use its most valuable resource, our staff, to produce videos in various different languages for upcoming project outreach. We thank you for spending time with us. Gracias, merci, danke, and salamat.
Hello, my name is Henry Simons, and I'm a legislative liaison for Caltrans Bay Area. And for the last 8 months, I've had the opportunity to work as a member of the Caltrans Bay Area Unsheltered Task Force. Today, I'm going to be talking about the innovative work the Caltrans Bay Area Unsheltered Task Force has been doing to track and manage all of our data around encampments in the Bay Area. So, as we all know, California faces a homelessness crisis. More than 150,000 Californians are homeless tonight, and many of those people are unsheltered throughout our state, and often those people end up on the most marginal land in the state, which is often Caltrans property. We also know that Caltrans faces extensive regulations on pretty much any topic, and unsheltered issues is no different. We have close rules we have to follow from Sacramento, and COVID-19 has also vastly increased the number of rules and regulations we have to follow to make sure unsheltered people are treated as safely as possible and make sure we're not exposing anybody who's unsheltered to COVID-19. Caltrans is also not in this fight alone. There's many agencies and nonprofit groups who are all concerned about the issue of homelessness, and we have to work incredibly closely with these other agencies to do any work around encampments. We have internal parts of Caltrans we have to work with. We have to report to Caltrans HQ in Sacramento. We have to work with the agencies that offer services to unsheltered people, local governments, and then our partners in fire and police departments and highway patrol. We also know that there's a big lack of trust around encampment issues and Caltrans. We all know about the Caltrans shuffle, where people used to get just moved very frequently on Caltrans property. And although this is not happening anymore, we still have a lot of trust to build back with homeless advocates and partners at social services agencies. So the solution to this is the Caltrans Bay Area Unsheltered Task Force. What we're doing on the Unsheltered Task Force is making sure essential work happens, helping make sure unsheltered people get access to services, and most importantly, making sure Caltrans is following the incredibly complex set of rules and regulations we have to follow. And of course, overall, the point here is to make sure unsheltered people are treated with much dignity and respect and predictability as possible. They're some of the most vulnerable Californians, and they deserve to be treated well. So the first part of our solution is to focus on relationships. This is a photo of Caltrans Director Oma Shakin and Caltrans Bay Area Unsheltered Task Force lead Deborah Nelson touring a community cabin site in the city of Oakland, which is on Caltrans property. We have to work incredibly closely with our partners at all these different agencies and also focus on improving these relationships over time. We often have to move really quickly, and we're managing many different encampments at any one time. So the more we can have good relationships with other agencies, the better our work is going to go. Another solution is to really incredibly closely track everything that's happening in the encampments throughout the Bay Area. So in order to get on top of this problem, Caltrans Bay Area Unsheltered Task Force has created what we call our Next Steps document. This is a document that I manage, and that gets sent out every single morning to Caltrans stakeholders who are working on this issue, and weekly to our allies and partners in other agencies. I just want to highlight a couple of columns that are incredibly important to our work here. We have the encampment location, which is vital to make sure we're on the same page about the location we're concerned about. We have why we're concerned about this area, either safety or construction, whether it's a cleanup or a removal, because that involves different rules, how involved CHP is involved in the process, how they've been notified, and then whether outreach has been provided, the 72-hour post date, and the removal, relocation, or cleanup date. And then finally, the next step column, which is what we use to figure out what is the next thing Caltrans Bay Area has to do to keep moving, whether it's a cleanup or a relocation or something else. Normally there are, I'd say, 20 to 40 rows on the spreadsheet, and it gets updated every single day. So now I'd just like to talk about a couple of the lessons that Caltrans Bay Area and Shelter Task Force has learned since we've been implemented this next steps document. One is this is a full-time job for several people. My colleague Deborah Nelson is on this full-time, and she's in charge of all the different moving parts that we have to work together with, and then I'm in charge of sweating the details and making sure that we are really following the rules and have the best possible information about what's going on at any one encampment. I think another lesson here is just to bring humility and compassion. We're dealing with some of the most underserved Californians who live really difficult lives, and it's our responsibility to make sure we're treating them well every single day, and also we don't understand what their lives are like, and we always have to be working to learn more about how to better serve them. We also know to expect the unexpected. Back in March, I hadn't thought that wildfire risk at encampments was going to be one of the biggest challenges we face, and now every single day we're thinking about wildfire risk at different encampments. So get ready for things to change all the time. And I think finally, always focus on building these relationships. Homelessness in California isn't going to go away in a year. It's not going to go away in 5 years, maybe in 10 years. So we're going to be working with our partners at different agencies for a long time. And the more we can strengthen those relationships, the better. Thanks so much for listening to this presentation. I'd love to talk to anybody in the state about what the work Caltrans Bay Area is doing on this issue and to hear how you're handling it. And please let me know if you'd like a copy of the Next Steps document. It's been a really great resource for us, and I think it could benefit other parts of the state as well. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome to IT section of the Innovation Fair. First, I want to introduce you to the team. Nora Javier is the Manager of System Support, but could not be with us today. David Louie is the Manager for Desktop Support. Allison Gate is the Lead Tech for Desktop Support. And I'm Kim Jenkins, Chief of IT Operations in District 4. We are delighted you decided to stop by our virtual booth. We have an exciting new service offering that we'd like to introduce you to. It's called Virtual Desktop Infrastructure. I know that's a mouthful, so VDI for short. VDI is not a new technology, but the service is certainly new to Caltrans, and District 4 is the first to implement. So if we're successful, other districts are sure to follow. VDI is reinventing the desktop. Put simply, you can access your virtual desktop from anywhere and from any device. VDI allows us to deliver you an enterprise desktop without the desktop because it's virtual. A virtual desktop offers a number of advantages such as user mobility, ease of access, flexibility, and greater security. During this presentation, we'll discuss more about what VDI is, what the benefits are, and how you can get a personal demo and access to this new environment.
So why do we want to innovate now? 2020 has been a tumultuous year with many things thrown at us without any preparation. This has required thinking outside the box. One significant result of this for Caltrans is the creation of a truly mobile workforce. Along with this change will come many challenges. One of the challenges will be training in the classroom environment in the new normal of social distancing. Out of this comes an opportunity to utilize modern technology to enable an environment for staff training in a remote setting. Traditionally, the setting used by workplaces for training were labs, classrooms, and conference rooms. However, social distancing, health concerns, and a focus on telecommuting has rendered limitations on the use of these traditional facilities.
While exploring new opportunities for work environments, we ask ourselves, what are some options? A new solution, an innovative service to provide a new workspace environment. By harnessing the technology of VMware Horizon 7, Virtual Desktop Infrastructure, VDI. You might be thinking, this sounds interesting, but what is VDI and how will it help? Well, that's a great question. Let's go over a few of the concepts. Let's first clarify, VDI stands for Virtual Desktop Infrastructure. To put it simply, it's a server-based technology that is used to create and manage virtual desktops. A virtual desktop looks and feels like a physical computer, but it's a software solution. For our service, the virtual desktops will be the Windows 10 operating system, provisioned on servers, but accessible on your Caltrans computers through the use of VMware Horizon Client. For more information on what is VDI, we have a short video from VMware we'd like you to watch. It's titled, What is VMware Horizon? It is a desktop and application solution.
Today's workforce is on the move, with employees looking to access corporate data, applications, and online resources across more devices and locations. But supporting workplace mobility while minimizing risks and maintaining compliance can be overwhelming for many IT teams. VMware Horizon Desktop and Application Virtualization Solutions provide organizations with a streamlined approach to delivering, protecting, and managing desktops and apps while containing costs and ensuring that end users can work anytime, anywhere, across any device. Horizon centralizes end users' desktops in the data center, so IT can efficiently provision new clients, centralize desktop management, and improve security and compliance. And with innovative technologies like instant clones, user environment management, and app volumes, Horizon ensures that IT can streamline desktop and application management like never before, providing employees with truly stateless desktops. These stateless desktops can be destroyed just as quickly as they can be delivered, in seconds, allowing organizations to drive down costs, improve security, and support users with a truly personalized desktop experience. But with Horizon, organizations are not just getting virtual desktops, they're getting the ability to efficiently and cost-effectively deliver, manage, and monitor published applications to end users who may not need access to a full desktop. What's more, virtual desktops and published applications with Horizon provide IT teams with increased consistency across system settings and policies. Because with virtual desktops, these policies are tied to the end user and not the underlying hardware. This means that IT can provide end users with a truly contextual user experience, with policy that can dynamically change depending on the device used or the location services are being accessed from. And end users can securely access corporate data and applications across sessions through one set of login credentials. With Horizon, VMware is also ensuring that IT organizations can flexibly deliver services from on-premises, in the cloud, or through a new hybrid approach to best meet end user requirements. This approach allows IT to start on premises and provides them with a low-risk way to move to a fully cloud-hosted service or a hybrid cloud-managed service with cloud-based management and desktops and infrastructure that sits on premises. And with advanced virtual GPU and pass-through technologies such as NVIDIA Grid, as well as a brand new Blast Extreme protocol, IT can deliver great user experiences with all of the features end users have come to expect for even the most demanding graphic-intensive workloads. The consumerization of IT is a real phenomenon that is impacting businesses across the globe today. But supporting this trend doesn't need to be complex and overwhelming, nor should it cost you more. Horizon can help. Be sure to find out more today.
We hope the video answered some questions for you, but let's review some of the features and benefits of utilizing virtual desktops. One of the most important is user experience. Virtual desktops are server-based and centrally managed. This allows for more consistency and control in the product's configuration and maintenance. This really elevates the user experience. There are potential cost savings, as your current Caltrans laptops, desktops, and tablets are compatible with the VMware Horizon client. Another way of saying this is, to test this product, no new equipment purchases are required. Improved agility, as you'll be able to provide VDIs to your remote staff on request, and scalability. You require a virtual desktop for 1 or 25 users. We can scale it quickly and effectively for deployment for your use. There are various uses for virtualized environments for virtual desktops. Let's take a look at one scenario. A critical application your team uses has received a major upgrade, and your staff requires training before it's deployed to their Caltrans computers. Due to telecommuting, your staff are working throughout California. However, you decide to schedule an online training class, but your staff needs hands-on access to the application for the training to be effective. Access needs to be only for 3 weeks. Afterwards, access must be removed, as licensing for the product is not finalized. To provide the application to your staff, you request a VDI, a virtual desktop, with the required software installed for each staff member. How would this work in District 4? First, you should submit a request to District 4 IT requesting a virtual desktop, the VDI. Your request should indicate the required software. For this example, we will use visual lighting. After the request is approved, the virtual desktops would be created, provisioned, and the Horizon client deployed to your staff's computers. Now we're going to demonstrate what your staff would experience after the Horizon client is deployed and how they would use it. After your request is approved, the Horizon client will be deployed to you and your staff's computers. The Horizon client can be deployed on laptops and workstations, at remote locations or district offices, as long as the device is connected to the Caltrans network and is, of course, a Caltrans computer. Click on the Horizon client, which is the green icon, to launch it. So we're going to click it right now. Afterwards, you will see the VMware server selection. You're going to click on this, and now you will be required to log on using your Caltrans credentials. You're going to use your S number and your password. So I'm going to log on right now. A little bit long. After authenticating, you will see a desktop pool that you will have access to. You may have several or one based on your current requirements. I'm going to click on the third one, which is the Windows 10 standard pool. Your virtual desktop has now finished opening. You see it's a fresh Windows 10 desktop, and it contains the software that you have requested for your use. Give it a little launch. With the Windows 10 operating system customized to your choice, now your staff can participate with their online training course with the appropriate tools they need. When the session is completed for the day, they can disconnect the session by using the Horizon client. So to disconnect the session, I'm going to use the X. And what's great about this is that you can disconnect from the session, and it brings you back to your Windows 10 desktop, your production. And of course, the Horizon client is still here. But you'll be able to relaunch the Horizon client, and any changes you've made to the virtual desktop will still be there for your use and for training sessions. So your virtual desktop is back for your use. I'm going to minimize the screen again so you can see your Windows 10 desktop. If it's a laptop, like for me, it's in the back. You can see the virtual desktop, the VDI, that's here for your use. And that ends our demonstration. Thank you. To summarize, virtual desktops can be utilized for a variety of purposes. For example, the implementation of virtual labs and classrooms, application testing. You might want to develop your own project, such as developing a Windows 10 kiosk. This product is accessible for remote users and compatible with Caltrans equipment. So the sky's the limit. Come up with an idea and let's see if we can implement it. We want to enable your innovation. Interested? To learn more about the benefits of utilizing VDI, Virtual Desktop Infrastructure, contact District 4 Information Technology Team. Demonstrations are available by request. Thank you for your time, and we are here to support you, District 4, for your next innovation. Thank you.
Imagine if Caltrans' roads, highways, and freeways moved people riding bikes as quickly and directly as people driving cars. Historically, the state highway system has too often posed a barrier for bicycle transportation. But what if the same characteristics that make state highways great, speed, directness, grade separation, to name a few, were applied to bicycle facilities? My name is Elliot Goodrich. I'm an Associate Transportation Planner in the Pedestrian and Bicycle Branch here at District 4, and I'm going to talk to you about the Bay Area Bicycle Superhighway Concept Study, a forward-looking project that will envision a new category of bicycle infrastructure in the region and set the groundwork for implementation of direct, low-stress bike routes that are a joy to ride on. First, let's take a moment to acknowledge that this is not a new concept and to draw inspiration from bike superhighways elsewhere. In Denmark's capital region, a network of designated bikeways around Copenhagen have led to an increase of 23% in bike trips. Often, these trips are for commute purposes. These highways are a mix of on-street and physically separated bicycle facilities that aim to minimize conflicts with cars and feature consistent signage, wayfinding, and striping to let riders know that they're on these highways. The average trip length for the facilities is around 7 miles, showing that people are willing to ride longer distances when high-quality bikeways are provided. The Danes plan to build 45 routes and 460 miles of these bike highways in the capital region, which, to compare to the Bay Area, is made up of 27 different municipalities, requiring extensive coordination. In London, a planned network of 280 miles of cycleways connects downtown to surrounding neighborhoods. Existing routes include bikeways built along British motorways, providing a template for how bicycle superhighways could be co-located with Caltrans facilities. So, how did we decide to explore this concept in the Bay Area? The process of developing the study began in 2015 with the Strategic Management Plan, which set an ambitious goal of tripling biking by 2020. This is a goal that we haven't even come close to achieving, reinforcing the need for innovative approaches to facilitate biking. In 2017, toward an Active California, the statewide bicycle and pedestrian plan first introduced the idea of bicycle highways, including a recommendation to develop a network of such facilities along the state highway system. In 2018, the following year, we completed our District 4 bike plan, which also recommended further studying bicycle superhighways along state highways, and went so far as to identify certain corridors or routes that would be potential corridors for these facilities. As you can see, this study is a result of an iterative planning process, and we intend this study to be just one step in a process that will eventually result in the construction of bicycle superhighways right here in the Bay Area. So, what exactly will the concept study do? Well, you might have noticed that I haven't defined what the concept of a bicycle superhighway is yet. That's because that's the first step of the planning process. We're going to develop a set of best practices to do exactly that. We'll be gathering examples from around the world to get a really in-depth understanding of how others have implemented these facilities. We'll also be talking to our local government partners, regional experts in bicycle transportation and trail design, and the general public to understand what their vision for a bicycle superhighway is. Some of the questions we'll be asking will be about the types of grade separation necessary. Can this facility be on street, or does it have to be grade separated from cars? If and how pedestrians will be integrated into a bicycle superhighway is another question, as is what other amenities will provide, such as lighting, landscaping, bicycle-specific signals, or wayfinding. We'll be developing a survey and other outreach tools soon, and we'd love to hear your voices as well. Stay tuned, and you could be a part of shaping this vision. Once we have come up with a shared definition and vision for a bicycle superhighway, we'll begin to assess the state highway system within the district to get an idea of where these facilities should and can go. First, we'll evaluate corridors for suitability of bike superhighway co-location. We'll evaluate trip demand indicators such as jobs and housing data, percentage of car trips that are between 5 and 10 miles, for example, and connections to other regionally significant bikeways. We'll also take into account the communities that the corridors serve to ensure that the study is in line with the department's and the district's goals of serving traditionally disadvantaged communities. Essentially, we'll be identifying the highway corridors where the development of bicycle superhighway would be most impactful. Next, we'll do a high-level feasibility analysis of the most suitable corridors. With the best practices we came up with at the beginning of this project in mind, we'll evaluate right-of-way, topography, and other physical and political constraints to identify between 1 and 3 corridors that are both suitable and feasible for implementation of a bike superhighway. Finally, we'll think about ways that we can implement bike superhighways in the not-too-distant future. For example, can we leverage SHOP funding to develop these? What other funding or partnership opportunities are out there? Do we need a new funding program in the region and state? Or what are the next steps? All of this will happen between now and February 2022. Again, this is just one step in an iterative planning process, and we hope that the study will lead directly into the next step. I hope you're as excited about this innovative project to bring world-leading bicycles infrastructure to the Bay Area. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions, comments, or ideas. Thank you.
Within Caltrans' 20,000 or so employees, there are a small group of about 250 people working not on the state highway system, but with local agencies to help them deliver local transportation projects, or what we call off-system projects.
In local assistance, we administer and guide cities and counties through the federal aid funding process, including taking responsibility for signing off National Environmental Policy Act, or NEPA, the overarching federal environmental impact assessment law first passed in 1970. NEPA must be processed and cleared by every local assistance project with federal funding before a project can move into final design and then into construction.
Based on the project information, the specific location, background research, and technical knowledge, local assistance environmental planners like myself tell the local agencies what studies they need to prepare to comply with NEPA for their project. Even for small projects, we have found this list can get quite long indeed.
What could we do? Our task when complying with NEPA is to assess the environmental impacts of the project and ensure the local agency have considered how to mitigate the negative environmental impacts. As well as NEPA, there are a number of other laws which relate to different environmental topics: the Clean Air Act, the National Historic Preservation Act, the Federal Endangered Species Act, to name a few. And these all have to be adhered to as well.
Now, many of these local assistance projects are very similar to each other. Road rehabilitation projects, pedestrian safety projects, bicycle network projects. District 4 local assistance may get to see 70 to 100 of these projects every year, and so we became very familiar with what the environmental impacts are likely to be, and therefore what mitigations can appropriately be proposed. An important thing to remember about NEPA is that the mitigation has to be commensurate with the scale of impact.
So, here in District 4, we pooled our knowledge.
When you are looking at NEPA, you want the project sponsor, in this case, the local agency, to really own the mitigation. It's their project, it's their road and a bike path and sidewalk. Through NEPA, we encourage them to think, what's the environmental impact of what they are building, and what mitigation should therefore be proposed.
But at the same time, we recognise that we in Caltrans Officer Local Assistance hold the information about what every other local agency is doing in similar situations. So, for smaller projects that we call having a categorical exclusion from NEPA, it makes more sense for us to provide the local agency with a standard list of possible mitigations, a list from which they can pick the ones that apply to their project, and they can modify them as necessary, so they still own the mitigation.
It really reduces the number of studies the local agencies have to carry out. We could tick a box without studies on our preliminary environmental study intake form. The amount of paperwork local agencies have to submit to Caltrans gets reduced, and we could deliver their NEPA approval faster, allowing projects to move into construction quicker.
We rolled this innovation out in November 2019 at a meeting with all the Bay Area local agencies. Almost a year later, we've probably handled about 15 to 20 projects using this new methodology.
And so far, the feedback from our customers, the local agencies themselves, have been great.
In fact, we're actually finding that we put more mitigation down on our environmental documentation than we did before.
It's a win for the environment, a win for efficiency, and a win for the local agency.
This is U.S. Highway 101 in San Francisco at Alamany Circle. Built in 1950, this busy freeway has been carrying traffic for nearly 70 years.
Hi, my name is L.B. Lee, and I am the project manager for the US 101 Alamany Deck Replacement Project in San Francisco. The Alamany project had significant challenges for both the City of San Francisco and Caltrans during the design phase. The goal of the project was to construct this deck as fast as possible, but yet mitigate traffic on the local streets as well as on the freeway system. The stakes were high, and there were many innovative solutions developed. The lead-in video excerpt you just witnessed was the single most influential tool to gain support for the project. Little did we know at the time that this project would become a construction inspirational opportunity in 2020. The project had the disposition to be located within the heavily used US 101 and I-280 interchange and was in the middle of San Francisco. The project site is at the crossroads of 4 prominent neighborhoods, one of which is a residential neighborhood located on the steep hillside overlooking the project site. The other 3 sides are bonded by local arterial streets serving residential and commercial districts. The delivery team partnered with SFMTA's technical staff and developed an innovative traffic detour plans to address all modes of transportation. On the freeway mainline, the complex detour stages included a contraflow movement shifting southbound traffic to the newly constructed northbound deck during the second half of construction. It was incumbent that the delivery team embarked early in 2019 on a comprehensive Bay Area-wide transportation demand management strategy and partnered with local public transportation providers BART, San Francisco Bay Ferries, Caltrain, Samtrans, Muni, and encouraged telework, a term that we would become all too familiar with this year. The project needed an experienced and motivated contractor that would accept the risk and the rewards of a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week production. CMGC was considered, but we met our goal using the low bid process of a traditional design bid build contract. Our strategy enticed experienced contractors to compete by allowing a maximum 18-day construction period. However, it was anticipated that the $1 million incentive per day, capped at 8 days, would attract the best contractors to consider their own innovative means and methods to bid the incentive down, if you will, in a competitive bid process. 4 contractors submitted bids in January 2020. The low bid from Myers & Sons Construction was 25% below the engineer's estimate. With our contractor on board and the TDM campaign in full swing, the unthinkable happened in March 2020. Our district director, Tony Tavares, met the moment to take advantage of the low traffic volumes in the Bay Area and challenged the team to deliver the project earlier and faster.
And I'm standing right above the Alamany project, which is an extremely phenomenal project that all of you, our Caltrans Bay Area team, was able to advance and deliver ahead of schedule. And I want to thank all of you, all the employees, all of the programs and divisions that helped to bring this project to success. We took a project that was supposed to be completed or constructed 3 months from now. We brought it in a 2-week period. Within that 2-week period, we had a contractor that was able to construct it in less than 9 days. That's amazing. I want to, again, thank all of you for your hard work, your many hours of commitment and dedication to getting this project completed. You provided hope for the Bay Area and the state of California. But what's even more phenomenal about that? We heard from people around the country and around the world on how this project right behind me brought hope and provided a glimmer of hope that we together, working as a team, we're going to get out of this COVID-19 and we're going to come out stronger than we were before. I want to thank you again for all of that.
The Alamany project received a lot of media attention during construction in late April 2020.
Hi, this is Stephen Chun, Caltrans Public Information Officer here above the 101 Alamany Deck Replacement Project. Coming up, we'll tell you all about how we were able to build a brand new deck in just 9 days. Let's take a look. It's one of the most heavily traveled corridors in the Bay Area, connecting the peninsula to downtown San Francisco. More than 240,000 vehicles drive U.S. Highway 101 as part of their daily commute. Caltrans District 4 had planned to improve the highway by replacing a 70-year-old deck above Alamany Circle this summer. The construction date was set in July, but with Governor Gavin Newsom's stay-at-home order in place and less Californians on the road, Caltrans used the opportunity to move up this critical infrastructure work from July to April.
We took that opportunity, because of the shelter in place in San Francisco and actually the Bay Area. Caltrans actually saw a decrease in the volumes of traffic. Long story short, 3 months of preparation, we basically did it in 3 weeks.
Caltrans knew that in order for the Alamany project to be successful, we would need to have direct communication access to the public. We would also need to be able to partner with our local partnering agencies.
Crews worked around the clock with saw cutting and ripping out the old 800-foot deck. Within just a few hours, crews were already building a new bridge deck with reinforcement steel and fresh concrete. While the construction was underway, Caltrans adopted Center for Disease Control (CDC) guidelines to combat COVID-19 by asking employees to practice social distancing, wearing a face mask, and washing their hands.
The San Francisco Municipal Transportation Agency positioned parking control officers who were vital in making sure traffic flowed smoothly and safely through city intersections near the project. California Highway Patrol also played a key role in making sure drivers were reducing their speeds through the project site and being work zone alert. Director of Caltrans, Tokso Mashakin, and District 4 Director Tony Tavares recognized the importance of this project. Mashakin and Tavares toured the construction site and provided moral support for employees working during this pandemic.
We worked with a contractor who is very innovative. We were able to take that 18-day working day period, condense that into less than 9 days. That's pretty amazing.
There goes the CHP. And our first vehicles. Southbound freeway is now open for the Alamany project.
The Alamany project was a well-executed project. The project was constructed safely and about as fast as humanly possible. It was a total team effort between the Department of Transportation, the California Highway Patrol, the City of San Francisco, and the highway industry. It was an amazing journey and had a fairy tale finish. Thank you for watching.
Hello, my name is Jun Kang, a Regional Project Manager for Caltrans District 4, in charge of Santa Clara County. I'd like to take this opportunity to showcase the partnering success in CAL FIRE's shaded fuel break along Highway 17. Governor Gavin Newsom, as soon as he came into the office, realizing that wildfire danger due to climate change were real, proclaimed a state of emergency throughout California on March 22, 2019. Governor Newsom approved CAL FIRE's identified 35 priority fuel reduction projects that can be implemented immediately to help reduce the public safety risk for wildfire. These 35 projects throughout California treated 93,891 acres within 247 communities, with a total impacted population of 2,341,501. Highway 17 is a primary transportation corridor between Santa Clara and Santa Cruz counties, with an average daily usage of more than 80,000 vehicles per day. This narrow mountainous highway was built in the 1940s. The highway has few turnouts, but no roadside shoulders or center median. The surrounding vegetation is a mixture of dense second-growth redwood forests, conifer oak woodlands, and brush fields that encroach within a few feet of the pavement. These forests have decades of accumulated downwood and thick brush. The shaded fuel break boundary is highlighted in red in this map along Highway 17. This project was statewide priority number 18 out of 35. CAL FIRE was allotted $9 million to perform this work. This shaded fuel break treated 494 acres in Santa Clara County in 8 surrounding communities with affected population of 72,462. CAL FIRE, Santa Clara County Fire Safe Council, and Caltrans collaborated efforts with the multiple public agencies at the state, county, and local levels, and with the private landowners and contractors to establish shaded fuel break along Highway 17 and surrounding communities. This shaded fuel reduction operation along Highway 17 was treated as an emergency incident response, and emergency incident command structure was employed to execute the operation. Caltrans District 4 management reached out to CAL FIRE to offer help and assistance. Caltrans provided traffic management plan along Highway 17 with daytime closures, drafted and issued the encroachment permit for CAL FIRE, sponsored COZIP and MAZIP for lane closures to enhance public safety, assisted CAL FIRE to secure field operation yard lease for processing of removed fuels and for field command trailer. Here is a short video clip from CAL FIRE Unit Forester Ed Ori.
Hello, my name is Ed Ori. I'm the Unit Forester with CAL FIRE in the Santa Clara unit. And I'd like to take a moment to say thank you to Caltrans District 4 and the Santa Clara County Fire Safe Council on a successful Highway 17 shaded fuel break project. All this was made possible by Governor Newsom's executive orders, Secretary Crowfoot of the California Natural Resources Agency providing funding and CEQA suspension, and Director Porter of CAL FIRE to allow our resources to participate. We accomplished far more than we ever thought we could, and all of this came about in a very short period of time. We completed 494 acres and 6.5 miles of highway. We had amazing contractors, Granite Construction and Dudek and countless others with boots on the ground. And already the fuel break has proved to be effective in preventing 3 vehicle fires from reaching the communities and the motorists. So, well done, thank you.
This operation created shaded fuel break along both sides of Highway 17 from Santa Clara and Santa Cruz County line to town of Los Gatos. We used the masticators where possible to remove vegetation. However, most of the work required handwork. Removed fuel from slopes were transported to roadside by hand. Was loaded onto a truck, delivered to field operation yard, processed, and hauled away. Following 2 slides are the before and after photos of shaded fuel break. The erosion control measures were applied after fuel reduction operation for slope protection. Hydroseeding included native flower seeds to provide cover for the bare soil and to beautify roadside. The fuel reduction operation significantly reduced the intensity of a fire and dramatically slowed its rate of spread so that firefighters can safely and quickly control the fire before it threatens homes and motorists. With the declaration of state of emergency, shaded fuel break operation received CEQA suspension. However, the project team adopted the intensive environmental monitoring program to uphold the highest environmental standards. Biological, cultural, forestry, and water quality monitoring, construction site best management practices, and continuing field staff training were performed to keep the project over and beyond CEQA requirements. $446 dead and dying trees were also removed as a part of shaded fuel break operation. Because of successful partnering with all stakeholders, the project team was able to establish fuel breaks in record time and without undermining safety of public or workers. Because of the partnering, the fuel break operation was completed with effective use of public funds while protecting environment. I truly believe without the completion of the 35 statewide shaded fuel reduction operation, this fire season could have been much worse. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Ramsey Messier from District 4 Program Project Management. I want to introduce you to our innovative SB1 dashboard. The District 4 SB1 dashboard is updated after each CTC meeting and captures SB1 projects with allocated funds for us here in the 9 Bay Area counties. The tool allows you to apply filters of several data sets concurrently, so you could visually analyze and get answers quickly using a few simple clicks of the mouse. Visually allowing you to spot patterns in the data so you could get information quickly, make better decisions, and take actions if necessary. Data patterns which otherwise might be overlooked or take time to recognize in a spreadsheet, if ever. So the tool allows you to answer some of the simplest questions in day-to-day operation. For example, How many SB1 funded projects are currently in construction in District 4? So for that, let me jump to the tool and let's see if we could get a quick answer. Here, as you could see, is our dashboard, which is available via a link on our intranet website. So you can quickly see here, let me just give a quick walkthrough. On the left-hand side is where it displays the results. So whatever you're filtering for, it's going to display the results on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, those same results will be listed out. So whatever projects end up in the filter will be on the right-hand side listed out as projects. Up here at the top is your filtering mechanisms. These are drop-down menus, as you could see, by SB1 program type or by SB1 asset type for the 4 core assets, or by current phase, which is for P&ED or in PS&E or construction or K phase or PID. You have the project manager, so you could query by the project manager's name or by the EA. So those are your drop-down menu filters at the top. On the bottom here, you have another filtering mechanism, which kind of nicely divides it up by the county or the route. So if we, and if you notice these tiles, you could enlarge them for better viewing. So here we enlarge the county tile. So you could have, you know, Alameda or Santa Clara. You could choose Santa Clara and filter projects in that county, or you could do multiple counties, let's say Santa Clara and San Mateo. To basically untoggle and go back, you just click over it again. Again, very easy to use. And here with the routes, it's in similar fashion. Whenever you want to see a particular route, all the projects on that route, you could easily just click on that and get it filtered in the same fashion. And it could be one route or multiple routes. So let's go back and give it a try and see if we could have it answer a couple of simple questions. So how many SB1 funded bridge projects are currently in construction in District 4? So for this particular one, we're going to go to the SB1 asset type. We know it's bridge. So right away, it's going to filter all our bridge projects that are SB1 funded. And next, we're going to go to the phase, and we're going to click on construction. So as you could see, the results are displayed here on the left. So we have a total of 9 projects that have a total SB1 funds of $76,581,725, and the total corresponding CTIPS programmed amount and the total project cost as it shows in Prism. And here is the locations in what counties and what routes, and again the list of projects right here, which you could scroll through. So that answers one question. Let's do another example. So for that, let's refresh it, and basically it's going to bring us back to the beginning. How many SB1 funded projects are on Route 101 currently in District 4? And what is the dollar value of those projects? So for that one, seems simple enough. We could go to our list of routes here. Let's expand it. You have Route 101. We'll click on that. As you can see, it blanks out all the other routes. Let's minimize. So now we have, as you can see on the map, Route 101 with all the various different projects. There's a total of 39. Total SB1 funds on those 39 projects amounts to $550 million, and the total CTIPS cost, programmed amounts, and the total Prism cost amounts. So as you could see, you got the answer fairly quickly. And let's try one more question. For that, let's refresh it again. Let's say we want to see how many TMS projects are currently ongoing in District 4. So for that, we're going to toggle down to TMS, Traffic Management Systems. And as you can see, we have 20 projects that have a total SB1 funds of almost 39 million. And again, the total project cost for CTIPS and PRISM. So as you could see, from a few simple questions to more complex questions that we need answers to, the tool lets us view and analyze the data quickly and make decisions as appropriate or take actions as necessary. So hope you enjoyed this walkthrough our District 4 SB1 dashboard, and we hope you can make use of it in the future. Thank you again.
The title of this innovation is 3D, 4D, and 5D dimension model. This tool is a new innovation to the project delivery team that saves much time, money, and enhanced safety. It shows the proposed project in 3D design based on the engineering data, combine it with the proposed construction schedule 4D, which is the time, in a way to detect and resolve construction conflict, and combine that with the cost and cash flow to know how much fund needed when it is needed through the 5D or the 5 dimension, which is the cost. This tool will save time by minimizing the rework effort, reduce cost by minimizing contract change orders for projects during construction. It allows designers to detect and resolve conflicts during the design phase, review safety measures, and also forecast cash flow in a way that the department programming and local agencies will be informed about the fund need timetable. All this is based on engineering, surveying, and design data, project schedule, and information from the estimate of the COS needs and the CO based on the Bs and the right-of-way data sheet for the tentative cash flow. This engineering tool can spit various videos for the target investigation under question. Those videos can be for individual project stages or specific phases, and can be a tool for the BDT team or focus meetings. Also can be presented for stakeholder meeting, contractor outreach, and for general public. The good thing is that this tool can be updated as we go through the project phases. It can start as soon as we have the surveying data for the 3D model and get updated during design phases for the project stages, and tie that with the estimate as they are developed and during the construction phases, where it assists construction team in their discussion with the contractor and the BIO for the outreach.
Hi, I'm Jeff Weiss from Caltrans Public Information, and I'm here to talk to you about the State Route 37 website. This is a comprehensive website that includes many projects that are going to be built on State Route 37. So let's take a look at the website. And we'll go to the landing page. And here we have a view of State Route 37. And one of the first things you notice is there's a lot of water around the highway. And even on the logo, you have what is seen as parting seas. Well, these are very appropriate scenes and diagrams because State Route 37 has flooded a number of times over the years, and the flooding just seems to be getting worse. And to that end, Caltrans has designed a number of projects to deal in both the short term and the long term about the flooding of State Route 37. And what am I talking about? We can see the water here, but it's not flooding the road. Let's take a trip to the visual gallery. And here we have a picture of the flooded road and water everywhere. This is actually a couple of days after the flooding, perhaps a week. So let's go and take a look at another image. Go back to the image gallery, the visual library. And we can see the culprit right here. Here we have Novato Creek. Well, it doesn't look like a creek, does it? The creek was so swollen with rain that it flooded this large field and pushed on this levee so hard that it breached the levee and flooded this field. And in turn, the water from that field washed up on Highway 37. And this is several days after the water had washed onto the roadway. A lot of it had been pumped out. The road was closed for 3 days and then closed at nights after that to repair the road and repair the levee. So in the visual gallery, there will also be other pictures. We're not just going to show you the flooding. There'll be pictures of construction as the project proceeds. Now, let's look at some of the projects on State Route 37. And here we have the big ones. Project, well, they'll be renamed later, but here's Project A, B, and C. And these are projects that will entail widening and elevating the highway, getting the highway above the sea level rise, whatever that may be, and we'll get to that later, and to widen the road, because in these areas it's 2 lanes in each direction, but it squeezes down to 1 lane in direction, which over here in Project C, and that has been a problem for many years. So we talked about sea level rise. Let's take a look at the sea level rise. We go to the visual library again. How bad will it be? Let's take a look. So this is what it looks like right now. Route 37, which travels along the San Pablo Bay. And if we were to get a foot of sea level rise, we can see the flooding. And here's Route 37 again. And the Route 37 will be underwater. Now, if we really take it up to 52 inches, we can see what a disaster that would be. And not just there, but throughout the lower San Francisco Bay. So the lower San Francisco Bay and the upper San Francisco Bay would be in grave trouble during a sea level rise of 52 inches. But even so, just 12 inches is going to cause some real concern in these areas. And you can go to this map on the website and look at your own home if you'd like to. Not only does it discuss sea level rise, let's take a look at bicycle access to Route 37. So it's extensive. We can see the different routes that connect and meet on Route 37. And if we want to go to alternative bicycle access, we can see it is even a greater web of bicycle trails and highways that allow bicycling. And you can see we can go to the Coastal Storm Modeling System by the USGS, or we could go to the USGS Hazard Exposure Reporting and Analytics. These are all good sites that will help us find out more information. A lot of information is being placed on this site, and that's good because you don't want to go searching all over the web for information. So each of these counties has its own page within our site. So we can find out their plans, their involvement in the project as well. Thank you for visiting and hearing about the State Route 37 project. I would welcome you to get on the site yourself and browse. There's a lot of information there, and I think it will be very helpful as the project progresses and people want to know more and find out what's in the future for this important route that travels along the North Bay of the San Francisco Bay. Thank you very much for listening. I appreciate it.
The global pandemic has forced private and public sector organizations to make profound changes. Overnight, Caltrans morphed from a traditional brick-and-mortar workplace into a virtual, work-from-anywhere 21st century organization. COVID-19 compressed years of change into weeks. Consequently, tasks that had once been trivial, only requiring a stroll down the hall, rapidly became both challenging and of critical importance. The 40 supervisors and managers in our division were suddenly called upon to track and report detailed status information for our employees stationed throughout the Bay Area. The daily flurry of emails quickly became a burden. To simplify things, the Right-of-Way GIS team created an employee check-in system utilizing ESRI ArcGIS tools. The system uses the ESRI Survey 123 application for data input and a secure, online, data-driven dashboard for visualization and analysis. The employee check-in system can be used in the browser of any web-enabled phone, laptop, or desktop, or natively on any smart device using the installed ESRI Survey 123 app. We designed a form based on the division's org chart that filters the employee directory by supervisor, provides a listing of reporting codes, and fields for date and time entry. The dashboard allows division supervisors and managers to monitor employee status in an intuitive interface. The linked graphic elements provide interactive, dynamic results as users explore the data. A filter lists the division roster of supervisors. Selecting a name updates the chart, employee list, and other linked graphics to include a given supervisor's staff members. Selecting slices representing the various reporting codes in the pie chart quickly filters the linked graphics, listing employees in the division and its respective offices. This functionality has greatly simplified the creation of the division's daily attendance report. Data captured since the April 2020 implementation of the system is preserved in ArcGIS for more detailed exploration and analysis. Within ArcGIS, the data can be viewed in its entirety or filtered by important values like supervisor, employee, or date. Alternatively, the data can be downloaded and imported into other programs for analysis and processing. A great irony of the information technology era is that paper consumption has increased. Paper production is environmentally unfriendly. Not only does it waste water and other resources, it also wastes time. Which begged the question, why do we require requesters for land surveying services to print and lug about so many files? It certainly doesn't make for efficient intake, processing, or tracking of requests. Paper-based procedures bound both the requester and the survey coordinator to an archaic process centered on a single physical inbox. That's why, leveraging existing corporate data systems, the power of the internet, and GIS tools, in late 2019, Right-of-Way GIS services and land surveys created a truly paperless system for requesting and tracking topographic surveys. In the Office of Land Survey's webpage, the downloadable survey request form has been replaced with a link to an intelligent online form. The form is linked to a project database. Typing the first few characters of the project EA or PID quickly filters the list to the correct project and adds the associated project information to the form. The form also accommodates attachments of up to 25 megabytes in size. The completed request is sent as an email attachment to the survey coordinator, the requester, and members of the project team. The survey coordinator confirms the scope of the work described in the request. Initial research is conducted geospatially. A shape corresponding to the location of the request is automatically created and added to the web map. The web map contains layers of data representing the past several decades of delivered topographical survey requests. Survey requests from previous 2 decades are examined to determine if they fall within the same location as the current request and if any of the data previously collected can be reused to reduce the cost and accelerate the delivery of the new project. A copy of the request package and research are sent to the survey field office responsible for the region where the project is located. A detailed estimate is prepared and returned to the coordinator. Assuming the schedule and level of effort are acceptable to the project manager, the survey coordinator confirms that hours have been loaded into Prism. Finally, with agreement on the scope and cost, a notice to proceed is transmitted to the project team. Field Surveys collects and prepares the data for electronic delivery to the surveys processing group in the district office. Highway features are extracted from the collected data, quality checks performed, and a final digital terrain model created. The final digital terrain model and associated line work is delivered to the project folder and the project team notified by email. Each step in the survey request process is tracked and visualized in a data dashboard. Within the dashboard, the survey coordinator can quickly locate and retrieve information indicating where a given request is in the process. Utilizing link graphics, he or she can filter workload by survey field office or by survey milestone. Data collected on each survey request as it proceeded through the process can be downloaded and analyzed using other software applications. Patterns detected in that data could be used to identify and reduce sources of waste and delay.
Welcome to Caltrans Innovation Fair 2020. My name is Ray Duchesne, Caltrans District 4 Traffic Operations, and my innovation is the Innovate 680 Turtle Detection Pilot. Caltrans District 4 Traffic Operations and Contra Costa Transportation Authority, as part of the Innovate 680 program, have commenced piloting of a device called the Infrared Traffic Logger, or TURTLE for short. TURTLE is a non-intrusive traffic surveillance system utilizing infrared technology capable of providing precise measurements of traffic flow on our freeways. The TURTLE assembly consists of a transmitter installed in the freeway center median barrier and a receiver installed on the freeway shoulder directly opposite the transmitter. Both the transmitter and receiver are housed in rugged, high-strength stainless steel enclosures, protecting it from the harsh freeway environment. The transmitter is the source of 4 infrared beams, 2 parallel and 2 cross, which travel across the freeway to the receiver, perpendicular to the flow of traffic. When vehicles intersect the turtle's infrared pathway, the wheels of the passing vehicles block the beams, creating disturbances called beam events. The turtle receiver records and timestamps these beam events, then uses intelligent software to compute and provide traffic measurements such as vehicle volume, flow, speed, and classification for each lane of traffic. The turtle test units are anticipated to be installed prior to the end of this year at 2 locations on Highway 680 southbound, near the South Main Street and North Main Street on-ramps in Contra Costa County. If the turtle pilot proves successful, it will provide another alternative for Caltrans to better monitor its freeways, where inductive loops and other detection technologies cannot be easily installed or damaged by construction activities. Potential advantages of a turtle include the option to use solar power when obtaining utility service may be an issue. It can monitor multiple lanes of traffic without the need to be elevated on poles, and has detection zones that can be adjusted when lane striping is modified. Innovate 680 is integrating many innovative strategies and advanced technologies for improving safety and alleviating congestion, such as express lanes, part-time transit lanes, and integrated corridor management. Collecting accurate traffic data is essential to providing reliable, real-time traffic updates that will allow commuters to make informed transportation-related decisions and support data-driven decision-making by transportation agencies. We are very excited about our innovation, and we hope you liked it. If you would like more information, please email me. Thank you so much for watching.
Hello, this is Vanessa Chuang from Signal Operations Caltrans District 4. This is a presentation on coordinating traffic signals. The process involves utilizing a software called Transync D and Transync M. This innovative method saves time and money, and most of all, organizes traffic signal coordination plans within a database. So if you're still implementing coordination plans the old-fashioned way and documenting coordination timing on paper or separate data files, this software can reduce your field and office documentation time. This is the summary of the presentation. I will discuss the following. What is Transync D and Transync M? Why is it a must-have tool for an everyday traffic signal operator? I will then mention a successful implementation of a coordinated 5-signal system utilizing the innovative software with a data collection table to easily observe improvements through the corridor. Also, I will shortly discuss a basic step-by-step tutorial. What is Transync D and what is Transync M? First of all, the D stands for desktop and the M stands for mobile. These are software products to efficiently manage, operate, and maintain traffic signal coordinated systems. On the left side of the slide is a picture of Transync D on a Windows PC computer screen, and on the right is a picture of an iPad showing Transync M. So, Transync D is a Windows-based desktop software. It uses advanced digital mapping to easily locate traffic signals within the corridor. In this slide, you could see the several coordination plans within the digital map, which you can easily manage and edit signal timing by clicking on the traffic signal. Also, the desktop software can produce reports which are called arterial performance reports that shows the following data. Moving on to Transync M. The mobile software can be used on the iPad or iPhone. It is an app that can be easily downloaded from the App Store, which is a convenient tool to have in the field. The Transync M is utilized to collect data from the field while driving through the coordinated traffic signal system. It can show multiple data on one screen to compare test runs, shown here on this slide. Also, the mobile software can record timestamp detailed data, which are significant parameters to observe and to improve the mobility of the corridor. With this data, you can record onto a table for further analysis to compare existing and newly implemented coordination plans. Basically, use this data to show the improvements of the corridor. So, why is this TransSync software a must-have tool for an everyday traffic signal operator? It's an innovative method in implementing and recording coordination timing plans of traffic signals. The software is user-friendly and convenient in both in the field and in the office. The cost and time savings can be shown by not needing any traffic counts to implement timing, nor output any level of service data. Also, the software can create performance reports by analyzing timing alone. The software creates a database which can be modified anytime when coordination adjustments are needed. Data can be stored within the database and can be easily seen for further analysis. Moving on to the example of a successful TransSync coordination implementation, the 5-signal system example was actually used for this presentation. The data and screen capture pictures in this presentation has been taken from the TransSync database. This demonstrates an easy and convenient innovative way in retrieving and organizing files of coordinated traffic signal systems, such data files that are critical in analyzing, modifying, and implementing timing plans in the field. This innovative method makes record keeping easy and convenient to organize and retrieve data. Also, the record keeping leads to a faster response time in implementing new timing plans in the field, which also leads to time and cost savings. Here are two tables of a recorded data that was recorded from the field with TransSync M. By comparing the closest time of day run times, you can see how the software excels in showing data which can confirm improvements. By looking within the red circle, the columns travel time and total wait time confirms the significant improvements through the corridor during this time of day. This demonstrates the software to be reliable and successful in implementing and observing improvements through a concerned corridor. Lastly, I wanted to share some basic steps in using this innovative software. I listed 6 steps on this slide which I used during the implementation of the coordinated 5-signal system. You would repeat these steps for each coordinated signal within the corridor. In the first step, step A, using TransSync D, you simply create a new signal onto the digital map by entering the timing parameters. In step B, you would then enter the existing coordination timing. You would then download these existing timing plans to TransSync M. Once downloaded to the mobile app, you are ready to record the existing conditions data in the field by doing test runs, basically driving through the coordinated corridor. Then do not forget to transfer the collected data to the TransSync D's database. In step C, you then enter your proposed new timing coordination plans in TransSync D's digital map. In step D, you will then finalize your proposed new timing plans by using the tools within the desktop software. In step E, download your new plans onto the mobile app, then implement your new timing plans in the field in each traffic signal throughout the corridor. After implementation, you then record and collect data through the corridor during the new coordination plans. After collecting the travel runs data with the mobile device, you can then transfer the collected data to TransSync D to be saved onto the database. The last step, step F, you are ready to compare existing and proposed coordination plans to observe any improvements or analyze modified concerns throughout the corridor. This concludes the presentation of utilizing TransLink D and TransLink M. For further questions, you can contact myself or my supervisor, Einer Acuna, at the following emails below. Questions or interests of the software can be seen by clicking the links under the references. Thank you for your time and have a great day. Thank you.
Hi, this is Maria Chianidis from Electrical Systems, and today I would like to share with you an innovative idea of how ITS technology was used to alleviate the traffic congestion issue at the I-80 Central Avenue interchange. The problem we faced was that this intersection has heavy congestion during the weekend peak hours. A redesign or modification of the roadway was not a feasible option. The solution was to use ITS technology to redirect traffic from the westbound 80 on-ramp to the westbound 580 on-ramp. This is done by using dynamic variable message signs to display alternate routes during the peak hours on Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. The benefits of this project have been cost savings as compared to redesigning the intersection. You can display both color graphics and text and replicate regulatory signs for future messaging needs. You can also dynamically inform the public of available alternate routes. The before and after study also showed improvements in overall traffic volumes and travel times. This slide shows two photos of a typical variable message sign displays during heavy congestion periods. Thank you.